Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So, this time we're going to make one of these, which is I believe it's a folio file, portfolio file, and the only reason why I know that is because it says that there. I don't know what they're called otherwise, so it's a Europa portfolio file in red, this one is, so... and that's because I'm reading that. So this is one of these files. Now I believe Brian told me that somebody has been using these, but people have said that they haven't been able to get hold of them. I can't remember who that was. Who was it? Seven Plaza has been using these. So I made these a few weeks ago. I make a lot of kind of samples to see if I can make these things, and then when I'd made them, Brian said that Seven Plaza had been using them, and maybe that's something I showed you guys. So it has moved forward to being on air. I make lots of things, not all of it gets to air, not all of it happens straight away. Sometimes things have been made for years. So anyway, we're going to make one of these, and we're going to, so these are the ones that I have made. So this is the first one that I made, and it's just a mini version, just folds out. It's been made from a red file folder. This is the thing that covers up the mechanism, the attachments, and it just folds in like that, top and bottom. This is going to be very easy to make, and then you just pull over the elastic and it holds it closed. So then this was the next one that I made, and then this is just made from green card, and they've both been made with like to kind of resemble that motley feel that you get from this, but you can't necessarily recreate that. So this one has been made like this, and I'll show you how I made the kind of motley texture when we go through it. So this time we're going to make one. So this is the original inspirational thing. We're going to make it from this is cardboard, but it's not weighty enough to make it from this. It needs to be a bit sturdier than this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue two sheets together. So this is paper. I can't remember who makes it. Brian will know. But what we're going to do is we're just going to glue two sheets together so it becomes the right thickness that we need it to be. So that's what we're going to do first of all. So you'll see me back in a few minutes when I've glued this. Okay, so we've made this. I kind of got it dirty with a bit of rubbler, but I'm not worried about that. I forgot whatever I've used this for last time. The edge rubs off it, so I'm not worried about that. That's going to be on the inside anyway. But now this cardboard is a bit thicker, and that's what we need it to be. It's not dry yet though, so just be aware of that. If you've used stick glue, although it's dry glue, it's still wet, so just go figure. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. Okay, so I would normally leave this to dry, but I'm filming, yeah, so I've got to do things. Don't have the time, no time for things to dry. So, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to put that crease in again with for some reason that's got a dirty mark on it as well. It's all going wrong today. It's not going wrong, there's no right or wrong. So again, now we've folded it over, we might have just shifted the glue bit over, just push out those any air bubbles in it. So cool. So okay, so now what we've got, it might curl up a bit because the glue is drying. You should be leaving it to dry, Dave, but there is no leaving things to dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to decide how big do we want our folds. So this is going to be one of the pages. Now this isn't going to be the size of it, so we're not going to have it this size. You've got to bear in mind that you're going to fold in, and whatever size you fold it in into is going to be the size that you're going to use. So you've got to think about what you're going to use it for. So if you're in the UK and you wanted to put like an A, this is A5, this size. If you want to put an A5 sheet inside it, then you've just got to think, well, I need to not fold in right up to the A5, otherwise there'll be no space. So best thing to do is to just kind of put it in the right sort of space and then fold over and leave a bit of a gap. So leave a, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, half a centimetre sort of gap from the edge of your paper. Let's put that the other way around, Dave, and then I can see how big I need that to be. So this is where my fold is. So a lot of people aren't going to be watching this to know how to make these folders, but because they want to make it look motley. So motley. Oh, and the name of the paper, by the way, this is Rosler paper. And the way we came up with it, Brian couldn't think of who they were either. But I said, oh, is it Rosler? And he said, yes. And the only reason why we came to that name is because I was thinking Rosa. And a Rosa in the UK is a very old-fashioned nickname for a police officer. It's the Rosas. And then I said to Brian, why were they called Rosas? And then we think it's because they were named after Robert Peel, who was because they're also used to be known as peelers. So the police were known as either peelers or Rosas when I was younger. And we think it's because it's named after Robert Peel. So you're glad you tuned in for your history lesson. So now moving on, get back to craft. So I'm going to just make sure that I'm happy with that line. It won't be straight if I do it like that. So the walls around here are paper thin. I can see here next door talking. She works for a call centre, and I can hear her talking on the phone. I think she works in insurance. I literally can hear stuff. I think there's a confidentiality issue going on because I can hear what she says to people. So so full on conversation. I heard her talking to her teammates on a Teams call the other day. So I'm folding up against this ruler. Yeah. And that's going to be my side crease. Again, look, I've got dirty rulers. That's the problem with dirty rulers, is they leave a line on things. So I'm going to fold that over and fold this right the way over and just put a crease in it. It's all right, Brian. It's all right. It's my stuff. Everything I do ends up dirty, which sounds wrong. So yeah, but it's true. Yeah. So Brian says, like Brian says, it's true. So that's going to be my fold over flap. So we're making this flap inside, we're making this one, okay, and then we're going to do the top and bottom. So remember, it's all going to decrease by that same size. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to decide where we want this crease. So it's best to fold that one back, otherwise you're trying to fold the bulk of this fold here. And now we're going to do this one. So let's put, rather than trying to fold it with the paper in, we'll put a pencil line in. Okay, and we're just going to fold that against that line now. So we want it to be, we need it to be a bit further over from now, so let's go. Use that line, and we need it to be a little bit, leave us a bit of space to be able to put an A5 sheet of paper in here. So we're going to fold against this line. I'm going to put that on the paper. Use this. Now this is where the best thing to do, because you're trying to deal with this full length of paper, the best thing to do would be to get your scoreboard out. Okay, if you don't have a scoreboard, just do it on your desk. Have your ruler and use like your pokey tool, and you can use your pokey tool. Don't stick your pokey tool in, but use the very tip of it to drag across the paper with a bit of pressure, and you'll get a score line in it. Or you can use some scissors, or you can have a water bottle involved. If don't know why that wanted to be on camera, it just did. So So when you're not using a measurement, it's very hard to use a scoreboard, because you just best thing to do is line it up against the line that you know that you want to do, and then move that up to the top, and then turn that into a measurement. Yeah, so it's going to be closest to that is going to be. Should we go there? Or should we go there? Here. Is that, if I do that, is that going to be right? No, it's going to be too far. So we're going to do 1.5 inches from the top. Oh, that's way too far up. Never mind. We'll do that. So the other thing you're going to do is you're going to put multiple lines in it anyway. So these have, if you see here, they have 3 lines in them, and that's because when you fill the document wallet up, it allows for capacity. So it's got a 3-line space here, it's got a 3-line here, and that allows it to be the gusset. So if you put your line in and it's in the wrong place, then you just go to the next line and put another line in. Because remember, there's no wrong. There's just happy accidents. That's another line, and then we'll put. That's our 3rd line. There we go. And that one is now on the line that I think I wanted. And then we're going to find this line on this side, roughly up to there. So I think that is at that one. I think it's that line. Yeah, that's all right. There. Go the next line across, and then the next line across, and that's 3, isn't it? We need a 4th one, don't we? Because we need one to actually fold on. The same with here, we need a 4th one. We'll go this way this time. Okay, I'm going to turn it round, and we're going to put that 4-line fold. So one's going to be one that we fold on, and then you're going to have 3 additional lines, just for the authenticity of it. And then you're going to do that in the cover. So remember, this is the cover and this is the back. Okay, so you're going to put this into this here. So this, whatever line this is on. Oh. Put your line up here. I'll probably have fast forwarded through this anyway, so you don't have to watch me. That's that line. That one, next one, and is that it? No, that's the wrong line down. Oh well, never mind. That's the line. Okay, so that's slightly wrongly spaced, not worried about it. So okay, and then we're going to put those same lines on this one. So remember, we need to do it this side of it, not that side. So whichever line that lines up with, doesn't really line up with anything. There we go. So that's our lines in. Okay, so that's going to be our document wallet. This is going to be the bit that you cut off, and let's do that now. So people have said I'm really good at explaining things, but today not so much. So if you don't understand, then I don't blame you. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut these bits out. So these 2 corners are going to get cut out, yeah, and let's do that first. So you're going to cut this corner out, and you're going to cut this corner out, and what you want to do is you want to cut up to the line that you're going to fold on. So we're going to fold on this line here on this one, the first of the lines on the inside. Yeah, and we're going to do that line line will do. That one there. That line will do. Do the same on the bottom there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut out to where those two lines meet. So those two folded lines, that was one there and there's one there, and we're going to cut that bit out. So we're just going to cut it with a straight cut. You cut it, remember you're cutting the folded line off though. So that means that you're going to be on the inside of the line this way. So not on the outside, on the inside of the line. Again, I'm going to cut that fold off. We'll do the same on this one. Cut the fold off. Sorry, I'm not telling you guys to cut the fold off again. That's because I'm doing it for my benefit now. And I'm going to cut that fold off. Okay. Then you're also going to cut wherever this fold is, you're going to cut inside of the line this way. So starting to lose sight of where I can't actually see it, that's why. There. Turn it round and do the same on this side. Okay, and then we're going to cut these off. Okay. So before you do that, you want to fold these bits in and you want to give them a nice score. So Brian's just said 10 out of 10, so that's the score that he gave them. So fold that in, fold that one in, do the score on that. Don't worry about these, putting these lines in. If you don't want the lines, you don't want the authenticity of it, then don't worry about it. Okay, so that's all of our lines in. Okay, you'll notice it doesn't necessarily all line up yet. We'll sort all of the niggly snagging bits out in a minute. Okay, what you want to do though is you want to just fold it in and then fold it over. Okay, because you want to put this line in. Let's score that line in now, and then this will tell you the bits that you can cut off, because if it doesn't quite fold straight, then when you don't cut the line off until you've folded it over, to just make sure that it's, you're not cutting too much off. So I'm just going to put a pencil line. Am I going to put, oh there is, it is working. I was thinking the pencil wasn't working. I'm just going to use that, put a pencil line all the way around it. And the reason I didn't tell you exact size is because it depends on what you want to put in yours. So I want it to fit whatever you want to put in it. I don't want it to be, you then have to go and make stuff that fits exactly. So I'm going to, instead of using a pair of scissors, I won't get such a straight line with a pair of scissors. I'm going to use my blade and I'm going to cut that bit off. Cut into there, but don't worry about that. Flip it round, going to cut that one off as well. Up to the pencil line, wherever the pencil line is there. Okay, and then we're going to cut. Remember, this is the cover. Don't cut this flap off. Cut the cover flap off. Don't need that bit. Okay, so now when you're folding it over, you can see that it's catching on a few bits. You can cut those bits off so you can make sure that it doesn't catch in the mechanism. Okay, you can cut it at a slight angle. Again, just at the slight angle. Take it off. Do the same on that corner. That's where I went too far on my cut, so don't worry about that. It's my problem, not yours. You can always put a bit of faux sellotape on there. So this bit I've noticed as well was also catching, so I'm just going to cut that bit off. I'm just going to make sure that they look like a similar sort of shape. Okay, so that's basically our folder. Okay, if you notice this one sits so that you have the creases on the inside, but actually when I made it, I've made it so that it sits with the creases on the outside. Entirely up to you how you put it together. I just like it looking like this, so that when you initially it marries up, and as you fill it up, it'll get this overlap here will get shorter. So whereas it's already shorter, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to put that there, make sure it all lines up, and then you can just tidy these lines up. So just remember to cut that bit off. None of this is probably making any sense. I feel in my head it's not making any sense to anybody. No, so I
know I'm not doing it, but without
Brian says that he can kind of follow on even though he's not watching it.
And then I know what you're doing enough that when you go this corner and this corner, I've kind of picked over to see which corner.
So once we've done that, then do your aesthetic stuff. So I'd like to have a nice rounded corner, so I'm going to put a rounded corner on here. A rounded corner on that, and then all of these flaps to have a rounded corner on them. You probably won't have your pencil lines, but if you do, just make sure you rub them out before you start putting it all together. Go around, snip them all these out. That's one. There you go. Cool. So that's those. Yep. So it's going to fold. These two bits fold in first, then this bit folds in, and then that bit. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to put our elastic on it. So what you're going to do is, if you look at this, how this is made. So let's have a look at the back of it. Okay. You can see that this goes almost. This sits almost in the middle of this top piece. So if you look at this bit here, it sits in almost in the middle of this. But because we've folded on this line, so this is the line that I fold, you are going to actually put your punch in the middle. If you look at that, that is the middle of that line. Okay, so we're going to do the top and bottom ones in the middle, and then the side ones you kind of just do by eye, so you have it equidistant. So let me just rub my line out. So what you're going to do is you're going to make the holes first. So you either need your anywhere punch, which is one of these, so you can put them, you can literally put it anywhere, okay, or you get your big bite. I'm going to use my big bite because I've got it, and we're going to look at putting this somewhere towards the middle of this back panel. So let's see where that sits. If we do the middle, that's kind of exactly 6 inches, isn't it? Everything today has just been kind of exactly 6 inches. So we're going to go 3. We're going to put a line here, and again this one should be the same because it should be the same size. It is. And again we're going to go a line here. Okay, so we want somewhere along that line. You don't want it to be too close to the edge. You don't want it to be too close to the folding mechanism. So just, and I'm going to use, oh no, that's the wrong hole. I'm going to use the bigger hole punch because that's what my eyelets will fit into. So I'm just going to punch. I'll make the punch and then I'll show you what I mean by size wise. Distance wise. So So if you think that this is the fold here, so we do this from the back, this is kind of, we're talking about what, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 centimetre, at least from the, but you don't want it to be too far in either. And then if you use that same mark, put the hole there. Okay. So the ones that come down this side, so remember the elastic sits with the short flap facing this side, okay? You're going to put about kind of here. So what you're doing is you're looking at what that measurement is there and putting that same measurement in. So we know that that kind of sits at about 3 inches. So if we do 3 inches down from the top here and put 1 there, and we do 3 inches from the bottom there, and we're going to put the other somewhere around there. Again, you want it about a similar sort of size, some similar sort of distance from the fold, which you can only kind of see when you're eyeballing it. Put that in there, and then again on that line there. So that's the holes done. Okay, we'll come back to the big bite in a minute. And now what we need to do is we need to get some eyelets for it. So I just need to find some eyelets. Just bear with me. Did have them somewhere. Just going to rub out my pencil lines. Okay, so get my eyelets. So my eyelets are here. So these are, I used to buy cheap eyelets, but I really don't like the way that they work. So I've started using the We Are Memory Keepers ones. The reason why I don't like the way the other ones work is they split horribly. They split at the back and they split unevenly. What I like about the We Are Memory Keeper ones is they kind of split more uniformly. So they're designed to split so they're like a almost like petals of a flower, whereas the cheaper ones tend to split more randomly, which I don't have a cheaper one to show you, so because I've stopped using them. So I've started buying the We Are Memory Keepers ones, which I know is quite extravagant, but you know, that's just me. That's just how I prefer it. So you want to, if you want to, you buy what you need to do. So this is a piece of elastic, okay. So now what we need to do is think about how big we need this to be. It depends on the give on your elastic. So this has a lot of give on it, and what you want it to do is you want it to be able to, holding it on the, roughly on the holes, yeah, start off with it being not taut but just straight line, okay. Can you pick it up and reach it to the corner and a little bit further? If you can, then that's about right, okay. You don't want it to be too small. You don't want it to be at full stretch already, because what it'll do is it'll curl the paper in. Okay. Equally, you don't want it to be too baggy, so that it doesn't actually hold it shut. Okay. So usually, if you are using elastic, if you just kind of have it straight, you'll find that it'll reach. This one I had to do so that it had a little bit of give to it, because when I tried to stretch it to the corner, it wouldn't have gone all the way over the corner. I would have struggled and maybe bent the corner. That's just how I worked it out. But before we do that, we're going to make this look more of a mottled finish to it. So I'm just going to clean up my edges. Okay, so what I did was I took a colour that is very similar to my background colour. So if I'm using orange, I've got orange, I'm going to use orange on it. Okay, and that gives it a mottled feel without it being too much of a pattern. So I'm going to use spiced marmalade. It might not be the perfect colour. Let's just give it a wipe and see. Oh, that's all right. It's not too bad. So, and then what I did was I took some bubble wrap. Okay, so you either use tiny bubble wrap or you can use bigger pieces of bubble wrap depending on the size of your file folder. And all I did was I used this to create a motley effect. Okay, so you can clearly see that's exactly what this is, that patterning. Okay, and it's just a case of which size do I want to use, or you could use a mixture of the two. So this is standard size bubble wrap, and I just inked the bubble wrap, and then I just go over the surface of it all. So it'll take a little bit of time to do, so that's what you get, that kind of effect. So it just gives, it kind of represents that mottling. It's not, you're not going to get exactly the same. Doesn't matter if you have a bit of crossover, it's fine. It doesn't matter if they don't line up, it's fine. It's mottling, remember, it's not meant to look like a pattern. It doesn't matter if you smudge it a bit. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come out every time, so it misses bits, that's fine. It all looks great, so trust me, it will look amazing. And you're just going to ink it all until you've done it all, until you're completely happy. Now, I didn't bother with doing on the inside, but if you want to do the inside, then that's fine. But the time to do it is now, before you put your eyelets in. Otherwise, you might find that you don't get the ability to put the eyelets in because it doesn't lie flat. So there you go. So as you can see, I've got some mottling over it. You could tell, I think you might have seen on the video that it came unstuck from the background, so it's kind of just resetting now. So I might just add a few more finishing touches, but I'm happy with that, the overall look of that. So this is what it'll look like when you've kind of put it together. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're now going to put these bits in. So what you need to do is you need to get your elastic. Now you've decided that you've got the right size. You're going to go a little bit further over than your holes are, okay? And you're going to cut your elastic to be a little bit bigger than it needs to be. The other thing you need to be aware of is your elastic needs to go through the hole, so don't go too thick, otherwise you won't get it through the hole. Okay, and don't put it on this side. It'll be on the be on the inside otherwise. You need to flip it over, and it now need to work from the back. So this is going to go in here, and what you're going to do is you're going to tuck one of the ends in one end, and you're going to tuck the other end in, just to make sure that you've got enough elastic to be able to put both ends in without pulling the other hole out. Okay, flip it over so you can see those things and just pull them through. Okay, so they're going to be on the inside, those tufts. Okay, and now what you want is you want to have the eyelet so that the back sticks out of the back. So let's find this one. So these, the rougher bits, which the splayed bits of the back of the eyelets, they stick out of the back. So it gets a bit fiddly, but bear with me. Okay, so just now decide what colour of these I want to use. I think I'm going to use, or maybe I'll go for the dull brass, the brushed brass finish rather than the gold, rather than the sparkly gold. That's what we're going to use. Then we're going to bring it back in our crocodile. Okay. So remember, we're working the other way now. So we need to put this in, flip it back over, and we need to put this in so that it sits next to the elastic through the hole. And you're going to put the other one in. This will also help the elastic to stay in place while you're doing it. So you're going to flip that to the inside, hold it up, and put your eyelet in. There you go. So that's how it will be, and all you need to do is now you need to do the crocodile. So this is the back, okay, and depending on how your crocodile works, I think they all work the same, which is this is the top, this is the base. I believe that's right. Yep. So we need to change that because we're not making holes, we're doing the eyelets. So you just need to then, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tilt it because I need to make sure I can see it. They see that's come out because I was trying to do that. So I'm just going to get that in there. Like I say, it's going to be fiddly. I can't do it with my other crocodile because it doesn't reach over the leaf. Okay, that's going to go into there. We're just going to press that down. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this one. Turn it round. Line it up, press it down. So there you go. So that's what you get on the back. See, that's what I like about the We Are Memory Keepers. The ones they split more evenly. Sometimes the cheaper ones, you'll get one that splits, like half of it will split one side, and the other part will crumple, and it just doesn't look very nice. Okay. So then turn it round. I'm going to do the same on the other bit. So remember, not doing it that way around, Dave. Doing it, working from the back. I'm going to put these bits in, so they need to go in through the holes. And then turn it back round so that you get an even kind of distribution. Remember not to pull it taut. You want the elastic to just sit without any kind of stretch to it. Yeah, where are they? There you go, there they are. If you just flip it in, you want it on the inside of the hole. You want this one as well on the inside. So you're not actually putting this, you're not putting this eyelet through the elastic, you're just using it to hold the elastic in place. So like that. Again, just pop that into your crocodile. line it all up nicely, clamp, and then do the same on the other one. Line it up and clamp, and there we go. So let's put that out of the way. So now what we've got these sticking out on the inside. You can cover them if you want to, so you can you know, cover them over. You can snip a bit of this off. Don't cut too close to the edge, because you want it, if it moves a little bit, then it's not going to completely undo. You can cover them over if you don't like that, like them sticking out. So put a patch over the back, you could put a false back in it or whatever, but I'm quite happy with it like this. Okay, you just fold the edges in, fold it over, clip it, and then you just pop those over the corners, and that's it. So one of the other things to remember is not to get these twisted. So don't twist your elastic. If you're using a flat elastic like I have, just don't twist it. So that's it. So that's another little tutorial that hopefully you will have been able to follow to start with, and also it's something you might give a try of, even if it's just to get a mottled finish to your paper, and that's literally all I ever use. Is I use any kind of patterny offcuts of anything that I see, packing, anything. If I like the look of it, like I say, this is just a smaller bubble wrap thing. Keep it, because you never know when it might come in use. Like I shouldn't be encouraging anybody to keep any more rubbish, but I do. So if I've got a house full of it, you're going to have a house full of it. So there we go. That's what we've got. And obviously you can put you can put a stamp on here, or you know, you can make it. You can put a line on it, like this has got a decorative line on. You can do whatever you like. I put a stamped on this one. I didn't on this one. You know, I could put I don't know, something on there. I'm sure I'll find you something to put on there if you felt it needed something now. So there you go. We can just have that on it, tender. So it looks quite tender, to be fair. So, and we'll just have that in the corner there. There we go. That's what we've got. So hopefully that's something else you're going to give a try of. You can make them at whatever size you like. Remember, you just need to make sure that you know the size of the paper that you're going to use before you start building it. There's nothing worse than making it and then finding out the paper that you were going to put in it doesn't fit. So there we go. That's it. So hopefully you'll give that a try, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. So don't forget, give this a thumbs up. Please put a comment in the comment section. I am working on lots of prototypes of different things. Some of it make it to camera, some of it doesn't, because I need to refine it and make it easier. But hopefully you'll give this one a go, and please share this with your friends and your family, well, people that like craft, or just people that like the sound of my voice, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. So take care, folks. Lots of love. Lots of hugs. And remember, I love you all, without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.